There was a man who lived most of his life with one strong belief shaping everything he did. He believed that if he could just make more money, then every other problem in his life would naturally disappear. His stress, his pressure, his constant feeling of not being enough, all of it would finally be solved once his income increased. Because of this belief, he worked harder than most people around him. While others rested, he kept going. While others slowed down, he pushed himself further. Over time, his effort began to show results. His income increased and new opportunities started to appear. From the outside, it looked like progress. It looked like he was finally stepping into a better life. But inside him, something still felt incomplete. Even with more money coming in, he did not feel the peace he expected. It was as if the thing he was chasing kept moving further away the closer he got. As his income continued to rise, something strange began to repeat itself in his life. Every time he earned more money, his expenses seemed to rise as well. At first, he didn't pay much attention to it. He assumed it was normal. He told himself that this is just how life works, that more money naturally comes with more spending. But as months passed, the pattern became clearer. No matter how much he earned, he always ended up in the same position. There was never enough left to give him real confidence or stability. So he convinced himself of something simple. If earning more was not enough, then earning even more must be the answer. He started working longer hours, taking on more tasks, and pushing himself beyond what he was already doing. But instead of feeling relief, he felt more tired. The cycle never changed. He would work, earn, spend, and end up with the same emptiness at the end of each month. One evening, after a long and draining day, he found himself sitting alone in silence. There were no distractions around him, no tasks waiting for him, no pressure to act, just quiet. And in that quiet moment, something shifted in his thinking. For the first time, he stopped focusing on how to make more money and started thinking about how he was actually living. He began to reflect on the small things he usually ignored, the quick decisions he made without thinking, the way he spent money when he felt stressed or tired, the way he avoided looking closely at his finances because it made him uncomfortable. None of these actions felt important on their own, but when he thought about them together, he began to see a pattern forming. It was not just about income, it was about behavior. The way he handled money was shaping his reality more than the amount he was earning. This realization did not bring immediate comfort. In fact, it made him uneasy, because it meant the problem he had been trying to fix for so long was not something outside of him. It was something within his habits. He had been trying to solve a behavioral problem with income. Every time he earned more, he unknowingly created new ways to lose it. Not through one big mistake, but through many small, repeated actions. Small emotional purchases, small justifications, small moments where he told himself it did not really matter. Individually, they seemed harmless, but together, they were powerful enough to cancel out his progress. And the hardest part for him to accept was that he had been repeating these patterns without even noticing them. In the days that followed, he began to change how he observed his own life. He did not make dramatic decisions or sudden changes. Instead, he slowed down his reactions. When he felt the urge to spend without thinking, he paused. When he felt the emotional need to buy something just to feel better, he questioned it. When he received money, he stopped seeing it as something to immediately use and started seeing it as something to manage with awareness. At first, this new way of thinking felt uncomfortable. It felt unnatural because he was no longer acting on impulse. He was paying attention, and paying attention revealed things he had ignored for years. He started to understand that money was not only about earning, it was also about how decisions are made in everyday moments that seem small, but add up over time. As weeks passed, the changes were not dramatic on the surface, but they were real. His income did not suddenly double or triple, but his financial life started to feel more stable. For the first time in a long time, he was not constantly confused about where his money went. He began to notice that he had more control simply because he was more aware. The same income that once disappeared quickly started lasting longer. Not because he was restricting himself in a harsh way, but because he was no longer acting blindly, and this shift gave him something he had not felt before, a sense of clarity. He began to realize that financial stability was not only about how much you make, but how consistently you understand your own behavior around money. Over time, this understanding became deeper. He saw that most people around him were trapped in the same cycle he once lived in. They believed that the next increase in income would fix everything. They believed that more money would solve habits they never examined. But he now understood something different. If the behavior does not change, the result will not change either. More money only increases the scale of existing habits. It does not replace them, it amplifies them. And that realization changed the way he looked at success completely. In the end, he came to a simple but powerful conclusion. Before trying to make more money, a person must first understand how they currently handle money. Because without that understanding, every increase in income becomes temporary. The real shift does not begin with earning more, but with becoming aware. And once awareness enters, everything else starts to change naturally over time.